Oh, hey guys. Yeah. So this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Any and everything I say could be wrong. Do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Thank you. All right, so here we go. I'm going to see, this is what happens. Because this subject just goes on like forever. So we're talking about the little guy phenomenon. And when, and I continue to use Bernie Sanders as an example because it's a low-hanging fruit, obvious example that shows like that this is a real thing. This isn't just me making stuff up. Bernie Sanders' whole pitch to get votes is that he's going to invert the top-down system into a bottom-up system. And because it's for the little guys. So all the little guys on the bottom are going to get their needs addressed first, rather than the wants of the people at the top getting their wants addressed first. We're going to invert this system so that the needs of those on the bottom get their needs met before the wants of the people on the top get their wants met, right? And this was Bernie Sanders' whole thing. And I already knew it was bullshit. Like, it's bullshit. All these Bernie bros, for some reason, like, people can't see through this bullshit. And like I said, all you have to do is use homelessness and poverty as a barometer to measure the authenticity of that statement. It's very, very, very easy. But the majority of people, they refuse. They refuse. See, they reject the truth. There was a saying, I think it's in the Bible, that says, if you reject the truth will depart from you. So when you think about that, if a person or a large group of people reject the truth, and it's true that the truth will depart from them, well then of course they're going to be saying, they're hiding the truth from us. But no, that's not true. If I reject the truth, and as a result, the truth departs from me, I can't start saying, they're hiding the truth from me. They're hiding the truth from us. When in reality, I rejected the truth, and as a result, the truth departed from me. Then I project the blame onto it. Someone else did this to me. Someone else is hiding the truth from me. And this is why I always talk about like that line in that movie, The International. This is what you need to know about the truth. There's what people want to hear. There's what people want to believe. There's everything else. Then there's the truth. So if people reject the truth, the truth departs from them. And then they go around spreading all these conspiracy theories of how the truth is being hidden from the people, when that's not the truth. If the people are rejecting the truth because it's inconvenient for them, well, then they can't blame it on other people. But that's what they do. This is like peak malignant narcissism. This is what a malignant narcissist does, is reject the truth, then blame it on everyone else, that everyone else is hiding the truth from them. That's malignant narcissism. So, now I totally forgot. Okay, so anyways, I went off on a tangent because this is like totally real, you guys, and everybody's like the lies all over on alt tech and new tech are just walls and walls and walls of impenetrable bullshit. And what's frustrating is to see through it. See, I'm not saying that all this bullshit is deceiving me. I see right through it. And what's frustrating is that's all there is bullshit. It's all bullshit that is easily decoded. And this is like, goes beyond 1958 Soviet Union levels of propaganda. I mean, it's embarrassing. that this is the free country. This is what freedom is. That's an embarrassment. Like, this is a total idiocracy. And this, to observe all these people that they consciously and willingly reject the truth by adopting all this bullshit, and then they're screaming of how the elite are hiding the truth from us. No, they're not. The truth is obvious, dude. It's totally in your face obvious. Okay, so let's go back to this, to the little guy. You know, Gaza, Israel is starving Gaza. You know, stand up for the little guy. I mean, that's the little guy getting trampled on by Israel. The little guy. Just so, therefore, Bernie Sanders was right. We all need to stand up for the little guy instead of a top-down system where all the Lucky Charms go to Israel. We need to invert that system so the Lucky Charms go to all the little guy, all the people down below, not to Israel. That's Bernie Sanders' pitch. But it's everyone else's too. Yeah. And so here we go again. I want to show you. You don't believe me? Watch. So here's some really awesome buzz terms that you'll see, you know, circulating around with all these guys, Stu Peters, Dustin Nemos, Truth Stream Media, the Corbett Report, you know, Richie from Boston. These are buzz terms that they use all the time. Watch, I'll show you. Watch. Here's some buzz terms. Aristocracy. Aristocracy is a form of government where the big guy picks on the little guy. Oh, did I read that wrong? Let me look. Let me put my old man glasses on. Okay, let me read that. Aristocracy. Aristocracy is a form of government where the big guy picks on the little guy. And because aristocracy is bad, we need to stand up for the little guy. Aristocracy is a form of government where the power is vested in a small, privileged ruling class. Ruling class. Well, what do you mean, ruling class? Does that mean that class is actually an issue? Because if class is an issue, then why does nobody talk about class at all? And all they ever talk about is the Jewish race and the white supremacist race and the oppressed black race. And everything is race, the Jews. But this isn't talking about Jews. This is talking about the ruling class. Well, because the Jews are the ruling class. Oh, so is it a class issue or is it a race issue? Well, it's the Jews, stupid. But what about all these goy what about all these people that aren't Jews that are rich? Well, those are just the goy, you stupid. But they are part of the ruling class, or no? Well, everything is a race. And why you don't find that a little suspicious that nobody ever talks about it being a class issue. It's always a race issue. Like, race is always forced into no matter what. And all this Jew race shit has only started to snowball on BitChute in the last 3 years or something. But everything is always a race issue. It's never a class issue. But the aristocracy is a buzz term that circulates throughout, you know, Stu Peters, Dustin Nemos, you know, Richie from Boston, Truth Stream Media, Corbett Report. They love these buzz terms like aristocracy. But isn't aristocracy just another, like, stand up for the little guy kind of thing? It implies that the little guy is getting picked on by by the big guy. We need to stand up for the little guy. This is an aristocracy. We need to start standing up for the little guy, The little guy, right? So let's look at another buzz term. So aristocracy. How about technocracy? Isn't technocracy like a really hot, sexy buzz term that all these fucking talking heads like Corbett Report and True Stream Media and fucking Stu Peters, it's just another buzz term, technocracy. Well, what is a technocracy? Okay, technocracy is a system of governance where the big guy picks on the little guy, and technocracy is really bad, and so we need to stand up against the big guy and start standing up for the little guy. Wait, did I read that right? No, wait. Let me put on my old man glasses. Okay, what is technocracy? A technocracy is a system of governance where decision makers are chosen based on their technical expertise, specialized knowledge, or scientific background, rather than through democratic elections or political affiliation. Let's read further. These experts, known as technocrats, are appointed to leadership roles to make data-driven, objective policies decisions, often in complex areas like economics, science, engineering, with the goal of solving societal problems efficiently. But really what it is, a technocracy is a system of government where the governors are appointed based off of their so-called expertise rather than voted in by the people, by the little guy. Instead of the little guy deciding who's going to govern society, no, the so-called experts, they self-appoint themselves, the big guy. And then they just use that power, to beat it over the head of the little guy. So technocracy is another one. It's bad. So let's look at plutocracy. What is plutocracy? A plutocracy is a government or society ruled by the big guy picking on the little guy. And because the plutocracy is bad, we need to stand up against the plutocracy, and stand up for the little guy, because it's all just the plutocracy is just the big guy picking on the little guy, right? Wait, did I not read that right? Let's read it. A plutocracy is a government or society ruled or controlled by people of great wealth or income, where power is derived from economic status rather than birth, merit, or popular vote. So that's, and again, is ruled by great wealth. That's the big guy. And the little guy is getting ruled over by the people of great wealth, Because plutocracy is bad, right? So all these things are bad. Plutocracy is bad, therefore we need to stand against the big guy and stand up for the little guy, because plutocracy is bad. Aristocracy is the same thing. It's all just the big guy picking on the little guy. And so we need to stand up against the, aristocracy, because they're picking on the little guy. On and on. Israel is an aristocracy picking on Gaza. And we need to stand up against the aristocracy, and we need to start standing up for the little guy. It's always the same. But then, so now, if we're talking about aristocracies and plutocracies, let me just leave a little plant a little turd in your big, harebrained fucking long forehead pontificating fucking endless intellectual discussion about plutocracies and technocracies and aristocracies. Let me just plant a little word in there and just walk off. How about that word is homelessness? And then I'll just let you guys toy around with all your fucking big-brained, hair-brained, long forehead, intellectual pontification on what a plutocracy and a fucking aristocracy and all this shit. And I'll just leave that word homelessness and just let you all watch you all tap dance around the word and subject of homelessness in your really important intellectual discussions about aristocracies and plutocracies and all Gaza and Israel and Black Lives Matter and anti-white oppression and everything, and just homelessness. We'll just leave that there and whatever. But yeah, so anyways, I'm still trying to figure out what meets the criteria to be in the little guy club. What is the little guy club criteria when we're talking about, aristocracies and plutocracies and technocracies and and all this other shit, Jews and Gaza and banksters and the 1% and it's all garbage, dude. It's all total, complete, like, retarded garbage. And I'm right. You know that I'm right. So what's the point? If it's all garbage, what's the point? Homelessness?